What's going on, everyone? Yes, Kojima has officially, finally left Konami. There you go. That's all you're going to hear about that right now. Also, he might have a new studio opening, and they're talking to PlayStation. That's about it. That we're going to talk about it on this show. Anyway, my name is Miles K. Farrington. Welcome to MONG, episode 105. That is the episode. That is the episode. I'm here with Adam Leffler. Adam Leffler. Oh my God, Adam Leonard.
Please, will you,
Hey.
Adam? Please.
Oh, this is going to be a special week. I can already tell. Hey, everybody.
And Jordan Leffler.
Miles spouts rumors, nothing but rumors.
Yeah, I guess the rumors right now. Anyway, as I said, this is Mong Podcast, episode 105. Welcome if you're new here. If not, then you know this isn't normally that bad. Um,
Yeah,
so
it
it's not
is.
normally this bad. I've never said Adam Leffler before. I knew it was wrong the moment it left my lips. Um, clearly I need some water or something. So anything site-wide happening besides our always looking for new members to write or video produce or graphic produce or whatever you want to do that helps us out.
If you're talented at something and you want to aim it towards video games, you should contact us at contact.mong@gmail.com.
There you go. See? Yeah. So yeah, if you want to, are we like, would we hire streamers?
I mean, yeah, why
Like if they
not?
want to stream under our banner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, there you go. That's a new thing too. Hey, we're looking for video production people, writing, streamers, everything. Just
I mean, I want him to like record it
yeah,
and
yeah,
put it on the YouTube channel. Yeah, that'd be cool. If you want to play video games for our website, sure.
yeah. As long as you're ready to like make produce videos also, not just play video games. But hey, it's not that hard. I do it. So, gents, what's been going on this week? Anything worth mentioning been happening with you all? Adam, you always go first.
I finally dusted off Persona 3. I've had about 60 hours, beat that finally, so that's off my shelf. And,
Wow.
yeah,
Congratulations.
at this point, I'm kind of like a gaming hibernation. Been going through several long periods of like really hardcore gaming, and now I just kind of think I'm going to casually make my way through the games I haven't beaten yet and just kind of take it easy a little bit. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, I'm sorry if you said it. Now my brain-addled state may miss it. What's next?
What's next? Well, I've got to beat Tomb Raider and Fallout 4, but I don't really feel like I'm in the rush to beat either. I mean, right now we're kind of in a lull. We really don't have any major titles coming out until probably about March of next year.
True.
So, just kind of taking my time, switching things up. I've actually been binge watching The Flash this week. Not a video game thing, but a very good thing. And so that has been occupying a lot of my time.
Good. Flash is a very good series.
Yes, it is.
That's a that's a suggestion from two people on this podcast. Jordan, have you seen The Flash? Go watch The Flash. We'll talk about it next week. Anyway, Jordan, what you been up to, buddy?
So I have a very similar mindset as Adam, but my rationale took me in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
um, I decided to pick up Star Wars Battlefront.
Okay.
So instead of deciding to work on my backlog proactively, I've decided to pick up yet another game. But I'm hoping that it'll put me in more of a casual gaming mindset, and then like I will just kind of get off the Fallout 4 teat for a while and go back to my other games.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm trying to trick myself into stopping Fallout 4.
It's not gonna work. Not like that.
But Star Wars Battlefront has been enjoyable, I would say. It's basically everything that you hear about it. It's gorgeous and kind of lacking in content, but fun.
Yeah. That was the question I was about to ask. I know the biggest complaint I've heard is that it's good, but it's not worth $60.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, who knows? Maybe they'll release the whole of episode 7, which I know exactly what happens in it. I'm not. Don't worry, people. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm not that kind of person.
But
But
he's got that in his pocket.
I do have it in my pocket. If you come in our chat and you're mean, I will spoil it.
So why would you do that to yourself, Miles?
I didn't do it to myself. One of my friends looked it up and read it all, and I'm that kind of person where like if there's something in my mind that I want to know and like let's say like this, one irrational fear is zombies, and if there's a zombie movie on, I will find myself getting stuck watching it because I want to know what happens in the end. It's
Okay,
kind of
fair
like that.
enough.
Like I just want to know what happens, and I'm still gonna watch the movie. I'm still gonna be excited, but yeah,
Hmm.
I know the big thing that happens, and uh yeah. But anyway, my week has been interesting. I've been sick a lot, and I bought GTA 5 because it was on sale, and then I returned it because it was really bad. Um,
Oh, whoa, that's not a reaction that I
Really?
usually hear.
yeah, admittedly I bought it for the online,
Hmm?
so the online was really boring if you're alone and not that fun if you're with people. And then I realized that 90% of the time I was waiting through a loading screen and not actually playing. So I was just like, I know it was only $35, which if you're really looking to buy GTA 5, it is only 35.99 on Steam. So if you don't want to take my advice, then go buy it. But I did not feel like that was a good use of my $35, so I returned it.
So you didn't have any desire whatsoever to play through the actual story?
Nope. I GTA 5 has never been a game where I've cared about the story. I heard this one was good, and I'm sure a lot of people liked it, but I just don't care. When I play GTA 5, it's to cause havoc, or in this case, I thought I would be having fun with my friends, and it just wasn't. So, but yeah, I got them all to play by Lethal League. So yeah, that's an amazing game if you all have not tried it. Um,
What is it?
Lethal League, it's like a fighting game except for toss in baseball. So essentially, there's one ball and it's up to four players, and it's 2D, and you know a lot of jumping, and whoever hits the ball, you try and hit the ball into your enemies pretty much. And the ball like picks up speed as it goes, so sometimes it'll just like be slowly moving across the screen, or sometimes it'll be going super speed and et cetera, et cetera.
So kind of like a baseball version of Towerfall?
Yes, that's a
Okay.
very good example. Yeah,
Okay.
there's not platforming. It's pretty much just like there's a ring, there's
Hmm.
walls, there's no platforms. But yeah, God, the game would be awful if there were platforms. Just so many ways the ball could ricochet. Um, and yeah, as a fun fact, next week there should be a beautiful transistor poster where I'm pointing next
Mm.
week. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I
gonna
did see that you purchased that. It looks
yeah,
very nice.
it's gonna be all framed. I'm an adult now.
So I'm actually thinking about Journey because I've kind of not PC gamed in a very long time, but I've been very heavily considering this week journeying back to Steam because I
Mm,
keep on hearing this about this Undertale game,
yeah.
and I kind of feel like I need to play it because it sounds like it's something kind of interesting and special.
It definitely does seem interesting. For those of you who don't know, it's like a RPG that's got a lot of old school RPG elements, and
Hmm.
the one big thing, well, not the one big thing, but one big thing about it is you can complete it passively, so you can complete the game without attacking anyone or killing anything. So that is very, very interesting. Yeah,
Apparently, you could speed date skeletons in it, so I heard.
didn't even know about that, but yeah, that's a thing you could do.
That
Uh huh.
sounds awesome.
Now there's a goat, there's a goat lady, a robot, and a kid, and
Hmm.
a spider woman, and skeletons, and that's about all I
Yep.
know about it.
Yep.
Okay,
Pretty much.
I've
For
heard the
ten
soundtrack is
bucks.
amazing. Yeah,
$10, I'll give it a shot. I think.
there you
cool.
go. So, your price update. GTA 5 on Steam, $35.99. Undertale, $10. Lethal League, $5. Go buy one of those. Go ahead.
Star Wars
Yes.
Battlefront, still $60.
Still $60.
Should be 40.
Should be 40.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the news, gents. How do y'all feel about going to the news from nowhere?
Yes.
Okay,
Yay!
there we go. That's the participation I like to see. Uh, all right, so first bit of news from nowhere is a game that probably no one remembers has finally been completed for the first time ever since its release. The game I'm speaking of is Noby Noby Boy. I hope that's how you say it. It's either Noby Noby or Nobby Nobby. I'm not sure.
Nabi Nabi sounds wrong, so we'll stick with Nobi Nobi.
Yeah, Noby
Let's
Noby
go with
sounds
that.
better.
So, 2,489 days after its initial launch, Noby Noby Boy has finally been completed. Uh, the Noby Noby Boy was created by Keita. I'm awful with speaking tonight. Keita Takashi, who's the dude behind Katamari Damacy, and It is a strange game that was based around solar system spanning exploration, and after 6 years, someone finally beat it, and there's a reason why. Uh, the game asks players to stretch the titular character, Boy, there you go, that's his name, in order to amass points, which are then used to help Girl stretch out across the stars, traveling from planet to planet. That's like our planets, not like weird made up planets like No Man's Sky. Unfortunately, the interest in the PlayStation 3 game eventually fell off, so it was kind of like one of those ARG games. Is that what the term is? Like altered reality games, I guess.
Hmm.
I
Sure.
I would say it is simply because like everyone had to help out. I guess I don't know. Anyway, everyone had to help out, but of course it's a game. You know, games fall out of popularity. So eventually, it was like kind of distilled down to the devoted few who wanted to see Girl get all the way to Pluto, then back to Earth. So they made a few changes during the game's lifespan to make the points you accrue a little bit easier to get, so it could actually be done. And she finally made it back to Earth. When was this? I think it was. I don't see a date when it happened, but I think it was just earlier this week actually. So yeah, there you go. Good on you, people
A-
who were devoted to playing this.
And at the end, like it just fades to black, and it just says in white text, "You win,"
Yep,
and that's it.
yep. I'd be really disappointed if I put too much time
That's
into
what
that.
I'm saying. Like that would be the most disappointing ending after all that time.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure they were very extremely happy to finally get it done. Like that guy who, oh God, what was that? The Tetris thing? Like when you become like a Tetris warlord of the seventh realms or something? That's not actually what it's called,
I
people.
have
I'm just
no
I
idea
can't
what you're
remember.
talking about.
It's like the most skillful, like when you finish Tetris,
Oh,
like all the way to the very end. And I think it was in the original Tetris that like you became like a Tetris mastermind or something. I don't
you
remember it, but hmm?
you Tetris. Like turn Tetris into a verb.
you
I
you as a
really hope
person turn into Tetris.
I really hope that someday we live in like a post-apocalyptic society in which Tetris determines your status in society and there are actual Tetris warlords.
I hope not, because I'm not very good at Tetris. I
You
have
better
my like.
get good.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do that.
They're
I
like
would.
they're like all of the state exams are Tetris.
Oh, that wouldn't be so
You
bad.
you progress like through school like by how good you are at Tetris.
Well,
There's like
then
different clans, like Square Block Clan, L Block Clan.
the clan of the weird cross
The
symbol.
straight clan.
All right, this is awful. This is awful. But yeah, so if you all want to see the moment where Girl finally touched down back to Earth, you can find that on YouTube. I'm sure it won't be hard to find because I can't imagine there are that many videos of Noby Noby Boy. So
Girl stretches back to Earth probably is going to get you the answer you want.
yeah, that sentence will probably never be said again outside of this context. So we just
Right.
made history, boys.
Thank you.
Relish in it.
Damn.
All right. So Adam, what you got?
Right to Game campaign seeks to promote positive perceptions of gaming. Twin Galaxies is an organization that tracks world records and other achievements by gamers around the globe have just launched the hashtag Right to Game campaign, a movement aimed at breaking down negative stereotypes surrounding video games. According to the company's newly launched Indiegogo campaign, Twin Galaxies is on a mission to elevate gamers and their achievements and to further popularize the notion that avid gaming is worthwhile, socially acceptable, and an important activity that's deserving of more understanding and support. In order to accomplish these goals, Twin Galaxy plans on launching a social media network specifically for gamers, expanding on their current platform for tracking world records, creating a global ranking and statistic database for gamers and their accomplishments, and hosting 24/7 gamer centric networks that broadcast charity live streams, tournaments, and more. Several supporting celebrities, including Stan Lee, Jace Hall, Ed Boon, and Rick Fox have donated valuable and rare items as part of their higher tier backer rewards, such as Fox's 3 NBA championship rings and a signed Hulk comic featured on the Jace Hall show.
Wow, 3 NBA rings? That's actually kind of big. Um, yeah, this is good. This is hopefully gonna be progress towards weeding out the toxicity that is proliferating the gaming community.
And I think hopefully trying to get gaming and gamers some like modicum of respect, because I think it's come a long way from even a short period of time ago. I think is, important to see video games get treated with the respect and respect that they deserve. I truly believe they're kind of a medium up there with television or movies or books even.
Definitely, definitely.
Yes, I second and third.
Yes.
Uh, I would actually like to see what this 24/7 gamer centric network would be like, because I've seen some of their Twin Galaxies has a Twitch channel, and the only reason I know of them honestly was because I thought they were pretty much just fighting game tournaments, because that's what they usually had on when I saw them. But they have like an interesting thing where you could tune in live to be part of the stream. Like they'd have the main screen where the Twin Galaxies person was, and then they would have like I think eight or so other screens where they were like fans, and you could like they were on camera too and everything. And I always thought that would be like just a recipe for horrible disaster. But I don't know. I guess if they're successful, then I would like to see this be successful as well.
I think I first heard of them because I think they featured pretty prominently in that movie King of Kong.
Oh yeah, King Kong. I forgot about that. Let's ask our viewer because I know he is big on King Kong. So, but yeah. So that's a side thing. Let's continue talking. Um, yeah. This is
Talk amongst yourselves.
talk amongst yourselves while I'm doing work. But yeah, I thought it was really odd to have Rick Fox be a part of this. To be honest, it's like you're a former pro basketball player. What are you doing here, sir?
Who's
Yeah.
Jace Hall?
That is. I feel like I know that face, but Jace Hall is. Never mind. I have no idea who that is. He looks like Teal'c from Stargate SG-1.
All
Uh,
right, I'm looking this up. All right, Jace Hall. Who
like
are you?
Teal'c if he were younger. But anyway,
Uh,
yeah.
oh, he's a producer of some sort. Okay.
All right, Jace Hall, the producer. We know that now. So, y'all got more to say, or you want to move on?
Basically, they're Stan Lee and a basketball player around, away from being like quote unquote celebrities, quote unquote.
See, actually, I'm wondering why they didn't mention the woman behind Scream Queens, the one who went to Evo last year dressed up as a Vega, yeah, Vega with her family. Oh, what was her name? Scream Queens producer, maybe? She's like in a lot of movies. I just don't remember what her name is. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis. There we go.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that would be a much more legitimate person to list than some of those.
I thought so. But anyway, I don't know. They're being weird with what they choose to say on this article. All right. So,
well, speaking of big announcements that have to do with video games, I'll let that sink in. A June patent published today by Nintendo, and I do believe that is today. No, it was December 10th. By Nintendo with the United States Patent and Trademark Office features a controller dominated by a touchscreen. A new GAF user spotted the patent on freepatentsonline.com, and Destructoid uncovered the filing with USPTO. The patent's wordy abstract describes a controller with a display panel / touch panel buttons and two sticks. It's partially obscured in the shot above. If you want to see that, that would be on GameInformer.com. But the controller has handles on either side to grip the unit like a typical controller. That's basically all there is. There's the description there. If anybody wants to read it, it is wordy. But that's basically what it is. What do you guys think? Do you think this could possibly be NX controller, or is this just Nintendo patenting something for the hell of it?
if this is the NX controller, I have to agree with someone who made a comment on this. I don't know if it was this article, if it was on like Reddit or something, but in their words, this is the same S word that got them in trouble last time, in my opinion. Like I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm done with gimmicks. I don't want my controller to have a touchscreen unless it's like strictly for non-invasive uses. If you ask me, like if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
This with the display they have, it looks like you're playing the game on the controller. And I've tried playing games on my phone where you have to like the controls are on the screen. That is a pain. And even if it
Hmm.
is like actual tactile buttons and not like touchscreen controls, that still looks like it'll be awful. Personally, that's my opinion.
It seems like it's likely probably involved with the next system, because it seems that all rumor is pointing to that they're trying to create like a master system that works both as a television console and a portable system. And
Hmm.
as such, if that is the route they're going, it would make sense that they would need some kind of screen on their controller, because that would probably be the instrument that you take with you.
True.
Um, yeah.
The only thing that I've noticed with this one is that it's interesting that there aren't buttons on it. I mean, like really for the most part, there really aren't any buttons on the face.
Hmm.
There are the toggles and maybe some buttons on top, and then the handles, and the rest of it is a touch screen. If that's the case, they could potentially have multiple configurations for any given game.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like if it is supposed to be like that the combination the hybrid. If anyone's been
Mhm.
watching Doctor Who, the horrible hybrid. Um, then my question would be like this doesn't seem like a very good thing to like be portable because in the picture we just see like one big screen essentially, and I would just feel like that would be cracking or breaking constantly, and that would be such a departure from the DS. And of course, this is all my opinion based on this being the controller and whatever else they're trying to do with the NX. But I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'll just leave it at that.
I I don't know. Maybe I worry a little bit, because I think I know that Nintendo's gotten like a huge amount of money,
Mm,
and so I get that financially they're not in a hard state. But I kind of feel like Nintendo is probably one more home console flop away from irrelevance,
mm,
and so you're already taking a risk by basically angering, by basically ditching your fans and going like, well, we're going to give up on the Wii U, time to move on to the next thing. And so it's like, all right, if you're going to take this shot, this is kind of your last shot here, guys, and you better hit hard if you want to keep at this. And so my worry is that really, I think one of the biggest things they need to accomplish to bring their actual consoles kind of back from the dead, is they need to court third-party developers and make a system that when they're making games for the Xbox One and the PS4, it's easy to make a game for with a Wii and or the NX. The problem is that probably the best way to do that is create a more traditional console. It doesn't seem like they're doing that.
Yeah.
They're trying to do their crazy innovations again, which I think kind of alienates third party developers.
yeah.
Well, like I said, though, I mean, technically, this one might not be a crazy idea. I mean, theoretically, if this would work the same way that I think it could,
Hmm.
you could have like a PlayStation controller on this controller. Like you would have the exact same button interface because it could just appear. Now, tactily, it wouldn't work very well. You wouldn't be able to feel the buttons. That would suck. But who knows? I mean, it could be something that could work in some sense like that, or it could just be regions on the controller or something like that. I mean, I don't think it's a completely outlandish idea, and I like that at least that they're getting back to an actual controller rather than the gamepad or the Wiimote.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Well, we will see really soon. I know that much.
yeah. Like
Yeah,
if our website had a T-shirt, mine would be just "Time will tell." That's what it would say. But
Hmm.
time.
NX, we'll see.
It would be time will tell, and this is what will win me back. Those would be my T-shirts. But yeah, as I said, time will tell. This is not what will win me back. I'll leave it there. So, who's next? Is it me? Am I next
It
or?
is you.
Oh, okay, I'm
It's you.
next. Yay! All right, so something awful. Let's talk about that next. Some people may have noticed that Destiny. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Destiny, even though I haven't played in like 3 months.
I think all the more reason to talk about Destiny now.
I guess I may have broken out of the Destiny guy thing by now. I guess maybe I don't know. I'm no longer the Destiny demigod because we haven't had nicknames. But so yeah, Destiny has paid level boosts. That concept I'm fine with. It's the next bit that I'm not okay with. So those are live now. If you're on the PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, whatever, Xbox Store, Xbox Live Store, Xbox Market, that one.
Something.
Yeah. So if you like to boost a character, the pack pretty much works like you. It's a level 25 boost, so not even to the full level 40, but it gives you. I guess it gives you. I don't know if they're actually designated classes. It says like level 25 Warlock pack and level 25 Hunter and Titan, but I don't know if it actually works like that. But anyway, it gives you the item that boosts your character up to level 25. It gives you some telemetries, which are used to help you gain experience on your weapons, and it gives you ammo packs, I believe, which you can pop when you're in a mission or something to refill your ammo instead of having to go find some. But as we know, they have started doing microtransactions in Destiny as of recently, and that trend has continued with this. And the problem is they're priced at $30 for each, and you can be purchased by any player, no matter how new to the game they are. So whether you're fresh or if you're like a seasoned veteran who just wants to make a new character. Um, but as I said, they don't take you to level 40 or even close, because 25 is actually quite a ways away from 40. Um, yeah, that price is ridiculous if you ask me, especially since and this is $30 in America. I believe in Europe it's like 50 euros, which is I don't know what the exchange rate is like, but that is extravagant. I guess that's the right word. I don't know how much Destiny costs there, but here that's like half the price of the game, or the whole price of the game if you got it while it was on sale. I think today or a day ago it was like $30 for everything. So that's that's not worth it if you ask me, especially only a level 25. Like if it was 40, it wouldn't even be worth it for 40. Like I enjoy Destiny, but I'd rather just play a character up than pay $30 for something like this. Like 10 to
That's
15, that's good, but
that's kind of my question on this. Like, it seems strange that they would come out with something like this. I didn't think that there was a huge population of Destiny players who were saying, "Man, I really wish I could get to one to 25 real easy." Like, why are you charging people to literally replay the game or to not replay the game essentially?
that is why, honestly. In my experience, the time I would have loved this is when I had to delete two characters at once and then get the new classes all the way up. Oh, it gives you a class boost also, so for one of your subclasses, I guess, gets filled out or almost filled out. But as a veteran player who deleted two characters and had to level them up, that was the worst because I had to play through the story all the way through again. Which it, I know everyone's like, "Oh, Destiny has no story." Those missions still take quite a long time, and in some cases, even when you're done with the main game, you're not even at level 20 yet. You're still, or with the old rates anyway, the old experience rates. I think they changed it a little bit. You wouldn't even be at level 20 by the time you finished it. So I could understand wanting to get a boost, like, but I would rather have a boost like maybe 30 and then have it cost $15 or something, or like have tiers or something where maybe level 25 is like where maybe level 20 is like 10, 30 is 15, and then you know level 40 if you want to go all that way is 20. I would have paid to at least get to level 35 probably because it's time consuming and I don't have that time. So that's probably who this is for, just people who don't
The
have time to
weird
level characters.
the weird thing to me though is just that it doesn't seem like anybody was asking for this. Like, it doesn't seem like any. While I completely understand that the time commitment could be irritating, like it doesn't. I don't think anybody was like, "Oh, what I really wish we could do is just pay up for our levels," or at least not anybody worth coming up with something like this for and alienating the population with such a high price point.
This is also true. This is very true. um I don't know, yeah, maybe that really uh there may be some people who silently wanted this, and I guess I guess Bungie's just like thought it might be something people would like. I don't know.
I get like trying to make it easier for people who are just starting with Destiny to get into it and really like get into the higher levels in order to play with their friends who've been playing for a really long time. Like that makes sense to me, but it doesn't make sense to charge them for the price of the game and then an additional $30 in order just to get to 25. Like it's just none of this makes any sense. At least at this price point.
Yeah, you're right. Adam, any thoughts?
I think it's this idea's destiny to fail. I've been hanging on to that one for like 5 minutes.
My camera didn't freeze just now. I was just really disappointed. But yeah, I don't think this is gonna work out for the best.
No, no.
Honestly, I wish there was a way for us to see the sales figures on this, like right now, and then maybe like
Yeah, that's
in a
true.
couple weeks, because I would like to see if people actually did buy this, and if so, how many people were honestly ripped off. Uh, like I said, I really like Destiny. I really like Bungie, but that is not a good deal, and that is worthless. Don't do that, people. Just play, honestly. Um, Unless you like have 15 kids and a full-time job, in which case this is probably not your top priority, and I could understand you wanting to buy that.
Don't be playing Destiny if you have that.
Well,
Like, just
that might be someone's like escape. That might be how they get through the day sometimes. But in that case, yeah, use $30 to go ahead and level that up so you can get to the fun part, because the early game is not fun. But otherwise, don't do that if you don't have 15 kids and a full-time job. So
But I mean, the early part's important though. I mean, that's like where you find out where like wizards come from and stuff.
you're being sarcastic
so
right now, aren't you?
important. No, he's being serious. That's huge.
That's
Okay,
an
you're both
important
being
piece of
sarcastic.
knowledge.
No, it's not.
Well,
You
how else are you? We're like you also there's like wizards. You don't know where they came from.
Because you get it
Only
browbeaten into you late game.
You know what? I would pay an extra $30 to get Dinklebot back.
now there's a proposition.
You're a bad person. Let's move on. Go ahead,
Only
Adam.
if he's
No, we're
only if
done.
he said. Okay, all right.
Say it. Say it. No, say it.
No.
Say it.
Only if every time you get a kill, he like tells you where wizards come from.
Yes, I would. No, I would still. I mean, I would pay extra for that.
You're off the
Mhm.
show, Adam.
Like on top of the
You're
thirty
both off the
dollars for
show. I'm gonna
Dinklebot.
just do this myself from now on. All right, let's move on though. This is
Okay, something I am excited about. Is Ken Levine's Irrational Game Studios hiring people for a new story-driven first-person shooter. The studio formerly known as Irrational Games is apparently hiring for a story-driven first-person shooter. On Irrational's website, the Bioshock, this was spotted by Polygon by the way, the Bioshock Infinite developer is searching for a system designer and QA manager with a quote-unquote passion for narrative first-person shooters. The job requirements also ask for semi-open and open-world game experience, pointing to Borderlands, Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor as examples, as well as knowledge of Unreal Engine 4. Early this year, Irrational Games dealt with major staff losses. Ken Levine, the studio's founder and creative director, stated at the time that the company was down but not out. Levine described the studio's new goal as the following: to make narrative driven games for the core gamer that are highly replayable. To foster the most direct relationship with our fans possible, we will focus exclusively on content delivered digitally. Irrational Games was responsible for notable titles such as System Shock 2 and Bioshock, as well as Infinite. Take-Two Interactive is continuing to move forward with the Bioshock franchise, though the team, formerly known as Irrational, is presumably working on something new and different.
is that their new name? The team formerly known as Irrational.
Um,
Like, do they have a new name? That's the actual question I'm asking. Have they announced it, or is it just they're not irrational anymore?
this article doesn't say.
Okay.
But this is worth, this is worth getting excited about. I mean, Ken Levine is kind of a game visionary. I mean, Bioshock is probably, arguably one of the best video games ever made. And, Bioshock Infinite was my game of the year 2 years ago because I thought that game was just wonderful. So I am really excited that he's out there and is going to continue to do what he does well. And I can't wait to see him tackle something completely other than Bioshock.
See, okay, so it says like we're looking to do so, or the article said at least that it seems like this is going to be something different and new, but it just seems like it's going to be something new. Not that there's anything wrong with Bioshock, but it sounds like Bioshock, right?
Yeah, and that doesn't bother me. Like, I sure
No,
can. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say like it's it sounds like Bioshock. I mean, we're talking about like a first-person shooter that's set in an open/semi-open world that's story-driven. Like those are all Bioshock.
This is valid. Yeah. Maybe. Wait, who's making System Shock 3? You all know? Okay.
I was just reading
Spoilers.
something about it, anyways. You go ahead.
Well,
Spoilers, viewers. System Shock 3 is a thing. Continue, Adam.
I was gonna say, well, then that's fine because really, I want him to stick what he's good at. We want Bioware making RPG games. We don't want Bioware to all of a sudden to start to make like light gun games or something like that.
No, I absolutely agree. I just only take issue with that.
Or do we
People
want
are saying there's
Bioware?
something different. Bioware make
turns
a
out
first-person shooter.
turns out Mass Effect Andromeda is actually a light gun game. That would be like
Oh my
Don't you
god.
dare. Don't you
it's
dare
like
put that thought
lethal
in anyone's head.
enforcers.
That would be almost as bad as putting Until Dawn on rails.
Oh,
Oh,
tired.
Okay, System Shock 3 is made by Other Side Entertainment, so never mind. Is it the year of game developers just like doing a 180 on their games? Anyone notice that happening recently?
like what?
Like this, well, this isn't really a 180 necessarily. It's kind of a 360 that they're claiming is a 180. But I don't know, like Epic. Yes, I think that was Epic. No, who's making Paragon? I'm so awful right now.
Oh, I think you're right. I think
Whoever's, yeah, I think Epic is. They're going for the MOBA thing, which admittedly a lot of people are doing, but still, that's kind of like a lot. That's very different from, the Gears, Muscle Bro, kill, 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 chainsaw. We're used to from them. Not talking bad about Gears of War. I played all of them. I enjoy them, but yeah, it's just it. I don't know. Like I had more examples in mind, but it just seems like a lot of developers just like, yeah, we're gonna flip the script and the table and the books on the table and our wives and just do something else. Um,
it
I'd like
makes
to see how it plays out.
sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense because I mean, as someone, as a developer or like in any position really, like after a certain amount of time doing the same thing over and over and over again, you're gonna get tired of it. And you're gonna want to do something else. Just
True.
because like they have a pedigree with something and because they have a lot of experience in one specific thing doesn't mean they shouldn't expand into other genres or elements. In fact, they should be doing that because that's how you get better games.
True. True. I I want to see like if this is actually an open world game, like fully open world, and still has a good story. I would like to see that, and I would like to not see it be Bioshock personally. I enjoyed the first one, did not play the second one because I heard bad things, and got extremely tired of Infinite the moment it came out. But yeah, I wouldn't mind jumping back into Irrational, the studio formerly known as Irrational's mind space, and see what they got.
So exactly, how did you get tired of Infinite the moment it came out?
I knew you weren't gonna be able to avoid that question.
If I'm teetering on the edge of being excited for something, too much hype will kill it for me, or like
Okay.
too many people talking about it will kill it for me. So I was like, I know it's BioShock and I know it's coming from Irrational, so that means it's probably gonna be good. But I didn't really care to play it, but I was like, yeah, I might get into this. And then when it came out and everyone was just like, oh, you gotta play this game, shove it down your throat, put the controller in your face, and do the buttons. I was just like, nah, I'm done. Also, I saw the ending, so
Yeah, you kind of want to experience that ending, Cole. That kind of takes a little something out of it if you already know what happens.
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I didn't completely understand it, but I was like, oh, okay, I've seen this. I don't need to play this anymore. It was just like it was the same way with Last of Us. I saw the ending. I was like, okay, I know what happens. I'm done.
To be quite frank, like the first time I finished Infinite, I didn't understand the ending. I had to quickly go like to Wikipedia and go like, so wait, what happened?
Just like watch the first person who finished it put their video on YouTube. Just now it all makes sense. Deckard
Mm-hmm.
Cain, come sit a while. Um, yeah,
If
Maybe
I
they're gonna
remember
make a
correctly,
Deckard Cain first-person shooter.
that sounds awful. Does he actually just shoot canes at people? Like I know that's not what his name means or says or how it's spelled, but that would be hilarious. His gun just shoots canes. It's a cane that shoots other canes.
It's like the Deckard Cain item identifier simulator. Like it's like a first-person game where you just identify random like wanderers' loot.
He throws wooden stools at you. Come sit a while, won't you? uh, but yeah, not to detract from the studio formerly known as Irrational.
I was just gonna say though, like, didn't The Last of Us and Bioshock Infinite come out at just about the same time originally?
Yeah, it was
Maybe.
like a pretty crazy year because I remember I was doing a thing where I actually had to do a game of the year that year, and if I remember right, it was a year in which BioShock Infinite, The Last of Us, Tomb Raider, and I think Grand Theft Auto 5 came out that same year.
Yeah, it's a
Uh,
big year.
yeah.
Yeah, it was like a pretty jam-packed year as far as like picking like the best thing that came out because there was just like a ridiculous amount of like hype because it was kind of the great swan song of like last generation, and so like all of kind of like these masterpiece games of that generation all came out because we were kind of just on the verge of moving over to the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yep. 2013. That was full of good acclaimed games. I'm not gonna say good, but acclaimed.
Including Diablo 3, starring Deckard Cain.
Come sit a while.
Did that really come out in 2013 as
I
well?
think so, yeah. I think
Yeah.
so.
Fact checker, go. Yeah, 2012.
2012.
Yeah,
2012. I was close.
close, close.
Close, you were very close.
You know what? We've talked a lot about Deckard Cain this episode.
I think I'm going once it airs, once we finally get it all done. I'm going to forward this episode to Michael Go and just tell him to like fast forward to this part.
To the Deckard Cain fiasco of
Be like, can
2013.
you just record yourself? Like, not even saying news from nowhere. Just I'm Deckard Cain.
Well, it sets us apart because I guarantee you there's not any other video game podcast that's singularly obsessed with Deckard Cain from the Diablo
Not not a one.
series.
He has probably not been mentioned in a podcast for a very long time.
if
Actually, he has rather frequently in our podcast.
This is true. This is kind of true, actually.
if I go online and I can find like a Deckard Cain fan fiction, can I read it on this
No,
Oh,
podcast?
absolutely.
no,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No,
no,
it
Like
will be it will be
we'll
an
no,
appropriate one. I'm not gonna.
no.
we'll just it'll just be like a little piece in the beginning of every episode, just like
Yeah,
You
there we
know what?
go.
You have your own podcast. Why don't you do that there?
Because we don't cover Deckard Cain on our podcast. That's
Well,
the game.
you can cover him now. You go over there and be like, "Hey, let's go sit a while." Um,
Well,
we
you
should probably
technically
maybe.
move on.
you fired Jordan and I anyways. Jordan and I are gonna go start our own Deckard Cain podcast.
The
You know
Deckard
what? You
Cain
know what,
sitting.
Adam? If you want, you can feature a Deckard Cain fan fiction of any kind, of any rating that you want on the website every week if that's what you want to do.
I don't
All
think
right.
there's enough of those for like more than 2 weeks.
You never
All right,
know.
I'm looking at this
I'm actually
as we
curious now.
speak.
We should really move on though. We've been talking about Deckard
No, we
Cain for
should.
a
We
while.
should. All right, I'll kind of get us going while you guys look up your Deckard Cain fan fiction.
Oh my
Our
god. There's more than
our
one.
There is more than one.
our thought out of nowhere for the
What?
evening
We still have one
is
more story.
video game movies go.
You not want to talk about Bloodborne?
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah. Real quick, Bloodborne's getting collectibles. Just so you know, that's basically the story. Um, who's doing it? Prime One, Prime One Studio, I think, is doing it. And that's basically all there is. Like, just so you know, Prime One Studio is going to be making some Bloodborne collectibles. I don't really like collectibles, but I like Bloodborne, and I'd probably buy one of those.
What are the collectibles just for people to
It
know?
doesn't even say
Oh,
high detail collectibles. I'm telling you, literally, it's getting them.
okay, that's a. I'm not gonna say that out loud. Oh, it's like okay, if you click, it says like the Batman Arkham Knight ones that they made, which look really,
Yeah,
really good, really good. So yeah, those would be awesome if you're a figurine collector, I guess. Standing over 30 inches tall and featuring LEDs. That's the Batman one, not the Bloodborne one, because yeah, I don't know, whatever.
at
Deckard
least.
Cain.
Anyways, so your Deckard Cain investigation got you where?
There
Uh,
are more than one.
and I just found one that is definitely not appropriate.
Well, we're not gonna mention that one.
Excellent,
Uh,
excellent,
it involves Deckard Cain and a demon hunter. We'll leave it at that.
Nope. Stop
lovely.
talking about it right now.
All right, thought out of nowhere, everyone. Video game movies, not including Deckard Cain ones. Go.
This episode was going to be based. The title and the opening image were going to be based around video game movies. It's probably going to be Deckard Cain now.
It's definitely Deckard
It's
Cain
Deckard
now.
Cain now. Anyway, so video game movies go. What? It wasn't even a question last week, was it? Someone just like said something about
No, I
video game
mean
movies.
we just kind of started like getting into it for whatever reason. I don't even remember now. It was a week ago. How would I remember that? But just kind of which ones are the best ones was what we were sort of discussing.
Mortal Kombat,
Yes, I absolutely
Annihilation.
agree.
No.
Shut up.
I love how you were agreeing until I said Annihilation. I actually, yeah, I saw that in like the Mario Bros. Movies as a kid, so I was just blinded. I was like, video game movies, yes, yes, and I was like, these are the best movies ever. And I think I watched Mario Bros. Like 10 times in one day.
Damn.
Yeah,
Wow.
I had nothing else to do, and I did not know it was bad. So I just kept watching it. But best video game movie? There's no best one because a lot of them are really bad. Let's be honest. Like,
Well, I mean, there's got to be a best one, like out of the bunch. Like
well,
there always has. They're not equally terrible.
the Mortal Kombat ones I'm just gonna say because Mortal Kombat holds that very special place in my heart. But
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat ones were good. Um,
the Mortal Kombat one.
One.
Annihilation was okay, all right? Calm down. If you're paying for it, it's god awful. If you're seeing it for free, it's not that bad. um, God, what is Hitman? Hitman, I actually thought was a solid movie. It had nothing to do with the game whatsoever, but I thought it was actually an okay movie.
You're talking about not Agent 47. You're talking about
No, I'm talking about the old one.
the old one. Okay,
Yeah, I haven't seen Agent
2007.
47, so
Okay.
um, yeah, and Chris Cobb, yeah, Chris Cobb from chat. His name is Chris, right? I didn't just insult somebody there.
No, it's Chris Cobb.
Okay, good. I'm
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Chris on almost all of that. Like the original Resident Evil was actually not bad, although the CG was kind of garbage.
yeah.
And I my personal favorite is actually Silent Hill. Like I'm not a fan of the
Mhm.
series. Like I'm not a fan of the series, but I've never played any of the games. But that actual movie was pretty good. And spoilers, it's one of the only Sean Bean movies where he doesn't die.
This is true.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a favorite of mine. Max Payne we were talking about last week a little bit. And I actually thought it was not bad. Like it's one of the better ones, especially like with the drug sequences and like the angels that are flying around and stuff. Like it's a little more figurative and a little more imaginative than a lot of video game movies. So
Mhm.
those are kind of my top picks.
So, what video game movies do you love for all the wrong reasons?
Um,
I will start out with like the original Street Fighter. Because like Street Fighter is like the most needlessly complicated story involving a group of people in a fighting tournament ever. And like beyond that, like the most brilliant part is that so they pick a lead guy whose like primary characteristic is he's like an American dude. Like an American dude. That's like basically Guile's biggest thing. He's got an American flag
mm,
tattooed on his arm. And then they cast Jean-Claude Van Damme to play Guile.
definitely not American. uh, yeah, that was an awful thing that they did. Um, I don't know if you all saw the Dead or Alive movie. That was one of the worst like hour. I I think I began watching it. I fast forwarded through the middle just because I wanted to see how that train wreck would end, and it ended just as stupidly as you might imagine. Um, Silent Hill, I remember being good for that skin ripping thing. That
Silent Hill, even if the plot was kind of meh, like, it definitely was a very visually interesting film. Like it
true.
was,
Yeah.
I think, like for nothing else, I think it's redeemable because it was a very well shot film and it did visual justice to the Silent Hill franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it captured Silent Hill in its entirety the best. The only thing that I didn't like about that movie is just, I mean, maybe it's just kind of a personal distaste, but like there's a scene towards the end where the woman gets like split in half by like razor wire or something like that. It's just like, okay, we're going a little over the top at this point.
Oh yeah, that is kind of like that's kind of inappropriate. I kind of agree. That's like one jump too huge there.
Yeah.
I've not seen that.
Do you guys remember the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movies at all? Like, I'm sure you
Yeah.
remember them, but like, do you remember what happens in them at all, or the quality of the movies?
Not
Mm,
really, though. I can't remember them as being terrible. They're
Yeah,
probably right there in the middle of because like they at least like they attempted to make a movie that was somewhat faithful to Tomb Raider.
yeah.
right.
I remember thinking that I remember thinking the first one was okay. I don't think I ever saw the second one, but I remember just like not being horrendously disappointed by it. Yeah.
Did either of you guys ever see Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li?
No, that sounds
No.
awful though.
That one was pretty like it's terrible, but it's kind of like terrible in that really special good way where you kind of have to see it because, like particularly like do you guys happen to know who Chris Klein is?
Mm,
Name
Uh,
sounds really familiar.
he plays like the lacrosse player. He was like the guy who was like dating Mina Savari in like the American Pie
oh,
movies.
that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays like Charlie Nash, who like in like the Street Fighter canon is like Guile's friend, and man, he gives like the best performance ever. It's like so like it's clear he knows he's in a shitty film, and so he's like delivering the most like ironic performance ever, and it's just absolutely like spectacular.
Fun fact: Street Fighter V. Something horrible has happened to Nash. I don't know what, but he's a patchwork zombie monster. Just saying that. Uh,
And not to mention, it also has like once again like talking about like getting your characters right. Street Fighter, like this, like the Chun Li Street Fighter movie. Uh, Michael Clark Duncan plays Balrog,
oh,
except he
okay.
uses a bazooka. Like he
What?
doesn't actually ever punch anything. He's got a bazooka.
Weird.
Like
What?
they cast a guy whose primary like characteristic is he punches things because he's a boxer, and then they give him a weapon.
That's disappointing. Michael Clark Duncan, no man, no. It's a good thing no one remembers that now that he has passed on.
And you also find out that apparently, what's the name? M. Bison. M.
Mm.
Bison got his like magical powers by like ripping his unborn child out of his wife. That happens in that movie for real.
Nice.
Well, his powers are called
So,
psycho powers. So.
a fun fact apparently, according to Wikipedia, Prince of Persia The Sands of Time is the highest grossing box office video game based movie.
Maybe a lot of people didn't know it was a video game movie.
Huh. I'm kind of surprised
Just
that
starred Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah,
managed to beat Resident Evil actually.
I'm sure it has it as a
Um,
series, but
oh,
oh,
yeah, it blew Resident Evil out of the water.
that is surprising actually. Yeah, because Resident Evil seems like, especially I don't know, it seems like Resident Evil has a bigger following. But
The second
S-
top one was Tomb Raider, the original.
huh,
I have a feeling that that's probably going to change as of next year because I'm just kind of looking right now at the slate of video game movies coming out next year, and there's four notable ones. There's first of all Ratchet and Clank,
hmm,
Mhm.
which probably is not going to do huge, but that will probably do well enough. And they're making it a digital film that might actually be okay. Then of course we have very unfortunately the Angry Birds movie.
we're not gonna count that.
That is a thing that is going to probably make way too much money. Sadly,
Probably.
sadly. And then the
There's
two that I'm
also
most go ahead.
no, you.
No, you continue. Go.
I'm gonna say The Last of Us, which is probably what you were gonna say.
No, there's actually two more. It looks like the other two
Oh,
coming out next year are Warcraft,
Oh yeah.
which is kind of interesting. Like what I saw looks really impressive. I was kind of concerned for a long time because it felt like we kept on hearing that it was coming and that it was coming relatively soon, but only now have we finally seen something of it.
Mm,
And so that kind of worried me. I'm like, this is kind of a big deal. You're making a video game based upon one of the biggest video games ever. Why aren't we hearing more about this?
hmm.
But I mean, from the trailer, it looks pretty legit. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. But I have a feeling that is going to be poised to do big business. And then there's the Assassin's Creed movie coming out next year.
Yeah, yeah. Well, not honestly, I'm not excited for any of those. They're based off of good properties, but I don't know. I can't find it. I can't find it in me to be excited about a video game movie. Just like I know there are those few gems that I've had, you know, have a hold on me, but none of them I've ever been like, oh God, Ratchet and Clank's coming out. That sounds amazing. Because let's be honest, it doesn't. Um, but yeah.
Well, it's because the kind of the truth of the matter is, I think the best video game movies, and I know that this was kind of discounted when I tried to bring it up last year, tend not to be movies based upon video games, but movies that use video games as their inspiration. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where
Yeah.
you kind of bring in like Scott Pilgrim. I mean, that's where you bring in like Wreck It Ralph. I don't know if either of you guys have read Ready Player One, but I can't wait to see what Spielberg does with that.
Yeah, yeah. It's just I feel like just like the medium of video games can be hard to it's hard to adapt it to the video or it's hard to adapt it to movies while staying true to the video game and staying true to what uh a company wants in a movie. It's
Hmm.
just like those two are hard to pull off.
Well, and it's kind of already getting to the point where it's unnecessary to make movies out of video games. Like video games already do what they do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I don't really think there's any video game that I really need to see a movie of. It's kind of like because why would I want to spend less time with these characters that I love? When I could go play a game where I got to go spend like 40 hours with them.
Are we counting animated
Although,
movies?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, what Dead Space. Those two animated movies were amazing, so I'm actually
I
gonna
heard
look
those
those
were
up.
good. Yeah.
Those are very worth watching.
Well, on that note, there's also a pretty good Street Fighter anime out there too
Yeah.
that was much better than any American attempt thereof.
Yeah, yeah.
I am holding out hope for, even though, again, I think that video games do what they do better than any attempt for a movie based off a video game. However, like teenage Jordan still holds out hope for Metal Gear Solid movie. Like just the things that have been rumored for years and years and years, and like the movie's never gonna get made, but I
Hmm.
still want it. I still want it.
Okay,
Kojima's trying to make it.
okay, I'll make. I just kind of now that I thought about it a little bit, I'll make an argument for the Assassin's Creed movie. First of all, it's got a solid lead. It's got Michael Fassbender, so they've got a real
Yep.
talent attached. Part two of that is maybe, hopefully, like some real like Hollywood script writers can like make some coherency out of the mess that is the storyline of the Assassin's Creed series.
Or just come up with something better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be fair too, because man, are like Assassin's Creed stories a mess.
It's just like, that part where they're in the future too? We're just gonna completely ignore that. That was the bad part.
I kind of like the Animus idea. I just don't want it to have anything to do with like 2012 or Aliens.
That's also valid. That is very valid because that my friend was trying to get me back in the series, and I was like, not even. He didn't even have me almost back into it, but he mentioned aliens. I was like, nope, I'm done. You can keep talking and explaining this, but I'm not playing it.
Well, only if they make the future something worthwhile. But it kind of feels like in many of the Assassin's Creed games, it's like, are you having fun killing people? Yep. Well, guess what? Now you get to walk around an office building for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Now, before we end, because we are getting,
Hmm.
we're about out of time probably.
Yeah, we're about that time.
I want to talk about something very special that has bothered me and my friends since we paid to see this movie, and probably if we had not been together, we probably would have absolutely hated it. Have you all seen Resident Evil Afterlife?
No.
No.
Really? That makes me sad because there's a part in the end. I'm going to spoil it because it's a Resident Evil movie, so who cares? There's a
Yeah.
part in
Okay.
the end where so Chris Redfield and Jill, I think Chris Cobb probably knows what I'm talking about already. And Jill, I think they are in the movie, and it comes to the point where the end is Mila Jokovich's character. I forgot what her character. Alice, where Alice and Wesker are facing off in his like whitewashed sterile room because that's all he's all about sterile, even though he's got zombies in him, and essentially he tries to eat her, and then she gets saved by Chris and Jill coming out from behind his chair and lighting him up with so many bullets that I can't even come up with like an analogy that would make this funny. So many bullets. And the question we always had is where did they come from? Because there's no door behind his chair. There's one door, and it's behind Alice. So how did they get into the room before they started fighting and just sit there? and wait for him to beat the mess out of Alice, and then decide now is the time for us to appear out of nowhere and use our infinite ammo on this dude. And
You
then,
know,
go ahead.
oh, Miles isn't done. No, no,
No,
no, go ahead.
no, go
Finish,
ahead.
finish, finish, finish,
And
finish.
then Wesker proceeds to get away. A horizontal storm of bullets. Yes, Chris has the right way to put that. A horizontal storm of bullets. And then Wesker still manages to get away because Wesker is Wesker, and he goes into it's like a hangar, just full of planes, and he gets on a plane, and he flies out, and he managed to pick out of the thousands of planes the one that Alice put a bomb in. And it's not that he left his office and went to the first one in the line. He went down a few, and I think like there's multiple rows, so he or multiple columns. He went down and in like two. How did she know that would be the one to put the bomb in? Because she definitely did not put bombs in all of them.
Miles, I think these are questions that will likely be answered in Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, coming out January 27th, 2017.
This is not advertising for that, folks. Don't go see it without friends. You will probably be angry at the end of it.
And I do have to correct myself. The Tomb Raider movie was not the second best grossing movie. Resident Evil no, Afterlife, the one you're talking about, was
Uh-huh.
the second best grossing movie after
Okay,
Prince of Persia.
good, because that movie was awful, but it was awesome to watch with friends, especially in an empty theater where we could talk about it as we were watching it. That's all I got to say.
So when are we getting our Deckard Cain movie?
I'll ask him.
2020.
Yes.
There you go. Deckard Cain in the movie 2020. You found out he was actually an angel that got sent out from wherever they call heaven. I forgot if it's actually called heaven or not. They got sent out. His name was Imperious Tyrael Mariel the Third, and he was
That
awesome.
sounds real.
Well, yeah, because I used two of their already existing names. Yeah, he was Imperious and what's his name? Tyrael's daddy and their daddy mama, because we don't know how angels reproduce.
And you can find out all about this on Adam's Deckard Cain Fanfic Corner, coming soon to the Middle of Nowhere Gaming podcast.
Be ready to be
Please,
disgusted.
please do, please.
Okay, we're done. This derailed the moment Decker Kane reared his old dead head. Uh, okay, so folks, I hope you've enjoyed our Deckard Caning, the Deckard Caning.
Yes.
That is what we're calling this episode, the Deckard Caning. Um, so I hope you all had fun talking about actual video game news, Deckard Cain, and bad and good video game movies. Hey, also two movies that you probably didn't know: Far Cry is a movie. That actually has a movie, and Uwe Boll. Just look up his IMDb. It's all video game movies that he's been in.
Sigh.
Yeah, he got really angry at people for not funding his last movie. So our schedule is to record on Tuesday nights and post on early Wednesday mornings and throughout the day Wednesday on various places. You can email us at contact.mong@gmail.com if you have some thoughts from nowhere that you'd like to field for us. Excuse me. You can find our Mong Twitter account. It's at mong.com. Dot is spelled out. We can find us on YouTube at Mong Network. You can find us on YouTube also at Middle of Nowhere Gaming Plays, where our soon-to-be hired streamers will be putting their content. Yeah. Our Twitch channel, as you can see, is Mong Plays. So come here for when we're streaming our lovely Deckard Cain-innings live. And by Decker Canings, I'm in the Mong podcast, because not every one of them is going to be like this. You can find us on Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram. Just search up Mong or Middle of Nowhere Gaming. One or the other will take to us. You can check out our website, which is middleofnowheregaming.com, for all our news, editorials, reviews, things. Deckard Cain, come sit a while.
Deckard Cain is there as well.
He is. He hangs out there on Friday nights. Um, and if you want to be awesome and help us keep the lights on, you can find our Patreon. Just look up Middle of Nowhere Gaming. And I think that's everything on the list beyond.
Woo!
Beyond our Twitter handles. I am Furious Milk, if you want to follow my exploits of fixing my almost what I thought was dead computer. You can find Adam at
Fanboy_Adam for no news in particular.
for no news in particular. Also, you can find him on his podcast, which is
FN, it's Friendly Neighborhood Fanboys. It's FN Fanboys is our Twitter handle, or you can look up Friendly Neighborhood Fanboys on Facebook. We've got a group. Join us.
I didn't even know you had a Twitter for it, but yeah. You can
Hmm.
find his podcast here on our website also, so check it
Yep.
out.
Hmm.
And you can find Jordan Leffler at
JL_Fleur, and I mostly just retweet things that we post on the website, so you get to see it twice.
Just
that's
as nice.
that's probably not convincing a lot of people to follow you, Adam. Or Jordan. God, I'm
Adam
tired.
Leffler.
Clearly,
Oh my god, I'm Jordan Leonard and he's Adam Leffler.
if I
Love.
had the wherewithal and the actual care to switch your names in the overlay, I would totally do that, but I'm not going to. I'm just mentioning it for people to hope about it. For anyway, so Deckard Cain, I hope you all have a wonderful night.
Goodbye.
Mong,
Wrong.
come sit a while. What's going on, everyone? Yes, God, no, we're gonna start that over. I messed up
Yeah, let's
bad.
just start. Yeah, let's start
Right
over.
in. I'm still gonna start like that. I just Kojima.
Kojima.
Kojima. All right.
Sound like you say Kojilla.